Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. You know, I received a rather large influx of emails, certainly over the past 6 months, when people see my two 30-inch monitors behind me, or in some type, I guess, in front of me. They ask, what are they? How big are they? And they want to get a second monitor if they only have one. And if they have two, well, then they want to get a third monitor because, you got to keep up with the Pirillos. You're going to stay ahead of the game. So, Mool from the chat room decided to submit a top 5 list, top 5 tips for buying a new monitor. Should be good. What do you think? Number 1, know what you want. Your choice of monitor should depend on what you're doing. While LCD monitors tend to be larger and thinner, obviously, they sometimes lack response time and overall quality of image. If you're a gamer, you may have to dish out a few extra bucks to get a monitor that is big but can also suit your graphical and speed needs. If you're just a regular old user and you don't do all the graphical stuff, then you can sacrifice some resolution and speed, although I wouldn't recommend dropping off too much quality in your choice, as you may wind up liking your old CRT monitor better. He's talking about response time. If you've ever noticed how an image may ghost as it moves across an LCD monitor, that is a slower response time. Or if it tears, the response time may be slower. And certainly LCDs are coming down in response time, and in some cases matching those that you might find response times in old CRTs. However, despite that shortcoming with LCDs, I could never consider using a CRT ever again. They hurt my eyes compared to LCDs for a lot of reasons. Number 2, bigger isn't always better. You may think that when buying a monitor nowadays, it's all about size, but you're wrong. The bigger you go, the more graphical power you're going to need in terms of a video card, and sometimes the resolution suffers. Find the balance between size and resolution that works best for you and your style. So just because you have, let's say, a 17-inch LCD, the size of the monitor, doesn't mean that you're going to have a very high resolution. The resolution for that monitor may only be rated at 1024 by 768. That's the number of pixels across by the numbers of pixels vertically. And that's just not that good. A 17-inch monitor should sport at least, I'd say 1280 by 1024, if it's not a widescreen monitor, of course. So you got to watch resolution, not just physical size. I mean, there's a big difference between the two. Number 3, brand names aren't always the way to go. When buying things like computers and accessories, people tend to stay with big names, which isn't always necessary. Small name companies usually have cheaper equipment, and it isn't that far below brand name qualities. You can get larger, nicer generic monitors for the same price as smaller, slightly higher resolution monitors from a brand name company. For instance, I've got 30-inch monitors sitting behind me. They've got Dell stamped on the front of them. But Dell doesn't actually manufacture the actual monitors. They've just got their name stamped upon them. And the difference between these monitors and, let's say, the 30 inches offered by Apple, well, Apple's are more expensive, have a different color on the outside and a different logo, and that's about it. For all intents and purposes, they're the same thing. It's all boiling down to brand. So you do the math. Number 4, make sure your graphics cards can support the monitor. This is probably the most important thing to do before you go out and make a purchase, as if you have lower quality graphics cards, the larger monitors may not get up to the full resolution allowed. I made this mistake and now have a 22-inch monitor on second best settings, which isn't bad, but it could be better. You want to get the best resolution set for your computer so you aren't stuck with blurry text and pixelated images. It's also very important to note. For example, these 30-inch monitors need a dual DVI port off the back of my video card. Well, luckily enough, my video card has dual DVI, so I can run 30-inch monitors. And there's also some cases that you may have a monitor that only supports VGA, that particular connection, and if your video card doesn't have a VGA in, well, then you're going to need to get a converter, a VGA to DVI converter. So, doing your homework before running out and shopping is very important. Point well taken. Number 5, research before you buy. Before you go out and honk a couple of dollars on a new screen, honk. Okay, that's what the kids are calling it these days. Read reviews submitted by people who have bought it before you. These reviews can have vital information on glitches in the product or problems that have happened to them. You can find these reviews on many of the sites you can purchase these from, like Best Buy or Circuit City, who I've personally seen to let customers write their own reviews on their websites. If you can't find it on any of those sites, use your Google Foo, and there's sure to be someone to have written a review about it. It is true, but I would say with monitors and screens, seeing is believing. I took a leap of faith when getting these particular monitors, as sent to me by Dell, because I didn't know how images would look. I didn't know how good text would appear on these screens. Did as much homework as I possibly could do, but ultimately kept my fingers crossed, and these have been very, very nice monitors. I'm very, very pleased with them. I don't have a dead pixel yet, and a dead pixel would certainly annoy me. It does happen with LCDs. It certainly isn't a reason to return a monitor, unless, of course, you're a perfectionist, because in some cases, a certain amount of dead pixels on an LCD are acceptable by the manufacturer. You should check that, too, when reading and researching your reviews. You're welcome to email me to ask me what I think, but I'm likely going to turn you back to the community, because, honestly, I don't have a review shop here. I don't review a lot of hardware because I just can't afford it. I mean, I don't have that much space here, and besides, I'm not made of money. You know what I'm saying? So I do my own research, and hopefully, if you want to bounce your research and feedback off of other members in our chat room, you're welcome to do that. And we're open right now. It's kind of like a diner, only it's a serve yourself. We do not serve any hydrogenated products at this diner, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where everything on the menu is related to technology, and you can swing by there right now. Live.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.